What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video. Not really going to give an explanation why. I'm just going to get into the whole point of this video. We are doing the review of Episode 1, Future Days of The Last of Us Season 2. I have been so longly anticipating this season of this show. It's my most anticipated show of the year. And yeah, I know it's been out for almost a week now. We're almost at Episode 2, but better late than never, right? So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alrighty, so let's get into the things that I like, because I'm going to be honest with you, the majority of this video is going to be heavily weighing on the things that I like compared to what I didn't like. First of all, I absolutely love that we started off with Abby this season. I know that has been a huge issue with a lot of people, starting with this first episode. I've seen a lot of complaining on the internet. Oh, I don't like that they started off with Abby. It doesn't make any sense because we now know Joel's gonna die. We know how he's gonna die. First of all, this has come out 5 years after the game. We already know how Joel's gonna die. So I don't understand why you're complaining about it. And for those who didn't see the show, they don't confirm Joel's death. They don't explicitly say, oh, this is how he's gonna die. These are the people that are gonna kill him. Yes, you know they want to kill him. You know they are going after him. But again, most people have played the second game or at least know what happens. We all know he's going to fucking die. I love this opening shot because it sets the tone perfectly for the second game. It starts off dark and timid. It's in a beautiful area, but the tone, and you can just tell everybody's upset. You know, they're all standing by the dead Firefly graves. It starts off with the amazing Last of Us 2 theme song at the beginning. I just love it. And it sets the tone. Caitlin Dever as Abby, I can already tell she's going to be perfect for this role, minus her not being a fucking brute, which we'll get into later. Yeah, it just sets the tone perfectly. Also, the scene before that, I love how they kind of pick up for when the end of The Last of Us Season 1 left off, where Joel and Ellie are standing on the mountain overlooking Jackson, and, you know, she walks away. We didn't see that at the end of Season 1. You know, it was like the end of the first game. She just says okay, and that's it. In this, you actually see her walk down the mountain, and, you know, Joel kind of follows her. I really liked that. Then they cut to 5 years later. I love how much Dina we got in this episode. We got to see so much more of Dina. And, you know, we get to see that she's got actually a relationship with Joel. You know, even Joel says it in the episode. She feels more like his daughter than Ellie does. You know, they have an actual bond, like a father-daughter bond. And it was interesting to see that because we don't really even see them interact in the second game. The only time they're in a scene together is when he's dead and at the party, right? Now, they did kind of switch this episode up a little bit. They took parts of what would happen the next day and put it into this day. In better words, it's like you see Dina and Ellie go to the convenience store to take out the clickers or whatever, and they take out the stalker. That doesn't happen until the next day in the game, right? This is still the day of the party. And if you guys remember from the game, the party happens the night before. They go on patrol and they go into the convenience store, and that's when Joel dies, right? In this, they switch it up to where all that shit happens the day of the party, which is kind of interesting. And I think it's a smart idea that they did that, because it's going to allow us to see more in the day of Joel's death. You know, we're gonna see more. You know, more shit's gonna happen, more shit's gonna go down. But I really like that they did that. Also, so many great Easter eggs, like specifically in that scene. I love when they pan up and they show the dog as the employee of the month. If you guys played the second game, you know that's a big thing in the second game. It allows you to find a combination lock that opens up a safe inside of the convenience store. Ellie falls through the floor just like in the second game. They pan into the glass bottle and Ellie throws it to distract a clicker. Like, all these things are just great Easter eggs from the second game. Also, we get to meet Kat. Kat is a character in the second game that you hear about sometimes. You also see her picture in Ellie's journal, but we never meet her. We don't know where she is in the second game. We don't know what happened to her. We don't know if she's dead, if she moved, or if she's still living in Jackson, but we never meet her. In this, we actually get to meet her. And, you know, I thought that was cool, you know, that we get to see a character, even though she doesn't play a big part, we still get to see a character that we heard mentioned in the video game that we didn't actually get to meet, you know. So it was cool that we got to meet her. And they do gently touch on Ellie and her backstory, but we're going to get into that later. Also, Ellie and Dina, the two actresses, Bella Ramsey and Isabella Merced just have such good chemistry. Their chemistry is, oh my god. The scene where they're in the grocery store and they're like with the knives was hilarious. Again, I've seen people shitting on that online. I don't understand why. They're so funny together. All this Bella Ramsey hate is so fucking forced. It's actually the most childish kid shit I've ever seen in my life. She does a fantastic job as Ellie. And again, people are just mad because, oh my god, people are mad because she doesn't exactly look like she does in the game. People literally want a carbon copy of the video game, and it's never going to happen. Never, ever, ever. Anybody with a brain wouldn't want that. Because why would you want to see a story you already know beat for beat that's just going to happen in the show? They got to switch it up a little bit. It's two sides of the same coin, right? It's a different story. Well, it's a different telling of the same story, right? So I don't like, just the hate for Bella Ramsey so forced and disrespectful. For people who don't like her, just stop watching the fucking show and stop spreading negativity about it. Don't ruin it for the people who do love it, which is a lot. I mean, the reviews for this season are off the charts. 9 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s, 4 out of 5s. It's crazy, right? People are loving this season for the people who have seen all of it. And the first episode already got great reviews for the people who've seen it. So it's fantastic. Another thing I really, really, really loved this season, the party scene. It was done perfectly, dude. Hearing the great music, you know, that was in the game, and the way they shot it was almost beat for beat from the game. Stuff like that is really good to get exact from the game. Like specific moments, you know? And it was a perfect one to do it with. You know, the way Joel pushes Seth to the ground, like that was a nice change. Instead of giving him just a little shove, he straight up pushes him onto the floor. That was cool. You know, I love the way, this is a really specific thing to mention, but I love the way Bella Ramsey kind of portrays that scene differently. In the game, Ellie seems just more pissed off at Joel. In this, she was almost, the way she said, you know, what is wrong with you? She seems more like disgusted in the show than in the game. She just, in the game it was more aggravation. In this, she almost seemed disgusted with Joel. And you can already tell by the start of the episode, these two are butting heads like crazy. You know, Joel is in therapy. That's kind of the replacement for the scene at the beginning of the part 2 game where he's talking to Tommy and telling him what he did. He's telling to his therapist, Gail. I thought that was a nice inclusion, you know. We find out that Joel killed Eugene, which was definitely a big change in the game. From the game, in the game, he just dies from a heart attack or a stroke or whatever it was. So I think in episode 3 we're getting that backstory. I think the whole episode's dedicated to Eugene, from what I've heard. Don't quote me on it, but so we'll find out what happens there. But yeah, I loved that. Jesse is fantastic in this. Again, I can just tell they already, these three, Dina, Jesse, and Ellie, have great fucking chemistry. The casting is perfect. You know, well, I'll get into this, but I love that they got the guy who plays Joaquin Torres to play Joaquin Torres from Captain America to play Manny. You know, I love the casting for Mel and Nora. Nora looks dead on to the game. I heard people complaining, oh, Mel doesn't have short hair in this. It's like, again, this is what I'm trying to say. If it's not exact onto the game, people are going to freak out. It's ridiculous. Which is a game that most people don't even like anyway for some reason, but whatever. And then obviously we got the casting for Owen. He looks different than I pictured him looking. Like in the trailer, he kind of looks a little different. Pretty much in the only scene we see him in with the hood up and everything. But that was not what I was picturing to look like. But I like it. It's a good casting. And then obviously I can already tell Caitlin Dever is going to just bring it. I could just tell. Just from that first scene we see her in where she's yelling at Owen. And she's just yelling at him. She's so sure that she wants Joel dead. You know? I can already tell she's going to be perfect. And again, I know everybody's mad that she's not buff, which, funnily enough, is something everybody bitched about in the second game, is that she was too muscular and that's not realistic. But now that they take that out, people are complaining that it's not there. See what I mean? Like, people are just brain dead, dude. They don't think. And I guarantee you, for the lack of musculature that she has, she's going to make up for it in fighting. She's going to be a fantastic fighter. I can already tell. But yeah, the casting's perfect. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Obviously, Bella Ramsey as Ellie, I love, and Pedro Pascal as Joel is perfect as well. I really love what they set up for the next episode. That this idea that there's a big herd of infected coming. You know, you see the plant and you see the cordyceps growing out of the plant near the firecracker. That was a great ending teaser for the next episode, and we've already seen in the trailers there is a horde coming. which will probably be in the next episode. And I'm curious, is Joel gonna die in the next episode? Let me know in the comments below if you think he's gonna die next episode. If they were going by the game, yeah, he's dying next episode. But it seems like they're gonna try and squeeze a lot into that episode, so I don't know. We may have to wait till episode 4 because again, I'm pretty sure the episode 3 is gonna be a whole Eugene episode. So we'll see. I hope he dies next episode. Not anything for any bad reasons, but for the sake of the story. This is only a 7-episode season. I'm hoping he dies next episode so we can actually get on to the main story. You know what I'm saying? This is all prologue. This is all the prelude to the actual story, you know? Everything in Jackson is just the prologue. And then once you get to, Seattle, that's the juice of the story, you know? And obviously I know this season's broken up into 2 parts. Season 3 will be Abby's section. But yeah, though everything about how they started this off, this is almost the perfect episode. But now we're going to get into the few things I had issues with, nitpicks. All right, so one thing I did not particularly like in this episode is that you see, obviously, like I said earlier, you meet Kat, right? But you don't, they kind of establish a backstory for her and Ellie. Dina just kind of says, you and her kind of, and she kind of left her mark, meaning the tattoo. But I was expecting more. I was expecting more out of that. Like, they're ex-girlfriends in the game. Is that, like, they kind of imply that they are here, but they also at the same time don't. They kind of just sounds like they slept together a couple times. Like, I really wish they kind of would have implied and, like, given us a bit more backstory on that. Also, another thing, I wish the first episode was longer. I thought a 1 hour episode launch was a little short, especially because in the first season, the first episode was over an hour and a half. So I was like, this is a really, really short episode for a first episode. For a season premiere, you're going to do one episode that's only an hour, not barely even. It was 59 minutes plus credits. So it was like a 55-minute episode. I was like, that's bold. Like, that's an interesting choice. But I think they're going to make up with it in episode 2. I think episode 2 is going to be a longer episode. But so yeah, that I kind of had a little bit of a problem with. I have a problem with the scene where Tommy and Ellie go shooting, and then they're on the hill and they're shooting at the infected, just like in the game, except in the game it was a flashback. Here it's just current day. I don't like the way Ellie acts in that scene. They have her again acting as like this childish way. She's screaming and jumping in the air saying, I'm immune, I can't be infected, and like Tommy's talking to her like she's fucking 10. I was like, but she's 19 years old. That's not how Ellie was in the game. Like, she would not be acting like that. No 19-year-old girl's acting like that, whether it's like that in the game or not. I know that sounds hypocritical based on what I said earlier, but like, she would not be acting like that. She's 19 years old, you know? And I don't know, it was like a kind of her 14-year-old kid self kind of came out there, and I don't know. It felt out of character for this version of Ellie, if you know what I mean. So I wasn't entirely sure about that. And then yeah, that's to be honest, that's really it. I mean, again, I thought this episode was pretty perfect. I gave it like a 9.5, you know, and I deducted points for those 2 little like nitpicks that I had. But overall, man, this was a fucking solid start. Very solid start. I cannot wait to see where the season's going from here. I will be posting weekly reviews. I can't guarantee that it's going to be on the day the episode comes out, but I will be posting weekly reviews of each and every episode. So yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.